All right, and we are live. So welcome back, you guys, to another diorama stream. And today we're kind of pick up where we left off, kind of from yesterday's stream. Now, this morning I actually did a little bit of work on the building fronts for the police station and obviously the fire station. So I got just like because I just want to get a rough idea of what I want the colors to kind of look like, both buildings. So we kind of have the one on the right here is obviously the fire station, and the police station, and it's kind of just like making sure I knew what colors I wanted to use, and I think I'm good with this layout here. So yeah, so I think we'll just get started here. I think the main thing I want to do right now is work on the bricks, and I'll probably switch over to do the base layer. Cause I still need to do the brickwork on that because I think the brickwork's going to be kind of the most time-consuming part, and so I kind of want to do that first and foremost. So yeah, I get some small brushes right now. But yeah, I was doing a lot of painting this morning because I figured that it'd be better for me to kind of map it out before I go live, because then I wouldn't be just there's more time for me to kind of think things through a bit more. Yeah, I'll use this plate. I didn't really use it much. Brushes here. I kind of want to do kind of a variations of colors. Not too big for my liking. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the brickwork all the same for all the buildings. Just kind of keep some consistency. That should be good enough. So I want to use this, not this one. It's burgundy. One of the brick red. Let's see how that looks. Bring my lamp over. There we go. There we go. Much better. And we're just going to be applying a very, very thin layer of paint. And we're kind of going to be spreading it out to different parts of the bricks. I'm just going to kind of pick them at random. I will go back in and do a wash over all this, just kind of keep it, give it some sort of a weathered sort of look, Not really worried about filling it in completely, just enough, because it's bricks. You're not going to have it be, it's not going to be perfect. Kind of have some of them kind of connect. We'll be seeing different shade of red or orange in just a minute. And I think what I'll do is do a dry brush of brown on top of that, and then I'll do some other stuff. Well, I almost like this chocolate brown I did, but I think that once I have different colors going on here, I think it'll look a lot better. So yeah, I think the first thing we'll do is get the bricks all right, and then we'll go back and kind of tidy up the rest of the elements here. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because I already just painted over all of it, but I needed a little bit a rough idea of what I needed to go for today. So yeah, not trying too hard to make it a very very thick layer, because obviously it's rocks, so it doesn't have to be perfect here. You know, it would be faded over time. You know, so I do kind of try to go for more realistic environments. Yeah, with some exceptions, obviously, because I've done a bunch of like Cybertron environments as well. But even those, I try to kind of keep things more grounded. You know, like instead of like just doing the like a very cartoony sort of Cybertron scene, I kind of try to make it look like if it was like a real thing. You know, like if Cybertron was real, like what it would look like. You know, kind of like instead of just like using like dull purples and oranges, I just went with like more metallic paints and all that, just because I thought it would pop out a bit more, yeah, a little bit more mature, but while still kind of keeping that old school sort of vibe intact. I might do another brown uh, color for some of the bricks here. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you, man. Yeah, I decided to go live today because I was bored, and obviously I'm still kind of work on this diorama. Did a lot of this stuff off air this morning, just because I wanted to get a rough idea of what I wanted the buildings to kind of look like, the color schemes and all that, before I put brush to foam, lack of a better term. Yeah. Also, because there's a lot of like dry brushing I have to do, you know, a lot of stuff I need to do for it. So it's good to kind of get the boring stuff out of the way, for lack of a better term. We can do all the fun stuff now. So for me, this is kind of the boring part is when you're just like waiting for paint to dry and all that. But it is also kind of a calming sort of thing. You know, on one hand, I like doing mundane stuff, but on the other hand, I think that it's I always kind of get the impression that it's not the most fun thing to kind of watch when you're doing it watching a paint stream. So that's why I kind of try to skip that process and then just do all the more fun details on air. So I'm gonna get the this really tight edge here first. Oop, shit. Yeah, I think we'll do all the bricks on both the firehouse as well as on the base. They're the same. Just kind of keep everything consistent. But yeah, this is actually the police station front because this is obviously for my protected bot shelf. So obviously because they're protected bots, I kind of figured they should be in sort of an environment that kind of highlights like emergency services vehicles and or be in that sort of environment that kind of makes sense. They turned into they had a helicopter or a rescue helicopter. They had the fire truck. They had the police bike and the police car, or it was more like a sheriff car for Streetwise. But yeah, ambulance as well. So they were all kind of meant, and so it kind of made more sense to kind of put them in that sort of environment. For me, anyways. Right. Try to stagger them a little bit, but not too much. And for the edges, we'll kind of the same here. Keep it consistent. This is going to be a side that actually kind of shows off in the diorama because it goes in on the left side of the bookshelf. So it's important to kind of get the edges kind of matching up as well. It doesn't look janky. But don't have to worry about this side because it's not going to be seen at all on the shelf. So I'll kind of put that off to the side. We'll do the firehouse next, which is this guy. And kind of tricky because there's a red door here. I might just do like a much brighter red, like a different color. Just kind of make it a little more, just kind of make it stand out a bit more from the rest of it. So all right. Yeah, using a lot of like pen work will kind of help bring these lines out a bit more once I do the final touches. But right now, the most important thing is getting all the colors down, get all that figured out, and then we can adjust as we see fit. Not fully covering them because I kind of like having it be a little bit more faded, kind of give that realistic sort of vibe. So I'm not like fully like painting them over. I'm just kind of doing enough to get the idea in, and then just kind of leaving it. Helps it give up a more realistic vibe here. Yeah, we'll be coming back with a orange or what's it called? Orange spice or what was it? I don't know, the terracotta orange, whatever it's called. Which we'll be using for the another shade of the bricks. And then we'll maybe do brown for like some of the other ones. We'll see if I need to, anyways. Because usually when I have like 2 or 3 different variants of color when it comes to bricks, just kind of makes it more realistic. Because bricks are not really all that even in the real world. It's like not always going to be the same sort of shade of brown or red or whatever. Check that one. Don't worry about it. And because this is the side that we'll be seeing on the shelf, go ahead and fill that in. Okay, let that dry, and we'll bring back the main base layer, which I haven't worked on since yesterday because today I wanted to kind of really focus on the building fronts first and foremost because that was going to be probably the one that takes the longest. So I want to get started on that, and then I think tomorrow we'll do the backdrops and all that, which hopefully won't take as long. Actually, I don't think it'll take that long for that one. So we'll start from the top. Identify which ones I want to be red. So stagger them a little bit right now. All right. Okay. Bring my lamp down just a little bit more, so I can personally see a bit better. And then there we go. Probably should have waited to paint this stuff in before gluing it in. It made painting this all a lot easier, but it's okay. That's okay. I don't need a challenge. Okay, we'll move on to the other side. We won't have to do too much on this side because it's not going to be shown on the shelf, but we do need to get the interiors of the brickwork here. Go. That out of the way. Shit on my desk. Okay, we'll do the other side now. That's all good to go. Do this one here. Okay, we'll do the police station next, and let's see from that angle. move you around. Not really worried about being consistent here. I think staggering them kind of makes them more natural. Move my camera down. Go around the other side. Okay. And with that, move on to the new shade of for the bricks here. Motherfucker. All right. This terracotta orange going. All right. Let's there. Here. Just better show that properly. Oh, there's my sexy kneecaps. Okay. Over to the other side once again. Not entirely worried if any of the paint kind of eats onto the other side. All right. Let's move down. And I'll do the underside. It's looking a little bit cartoonish right now, but I think that once I get once I get some washes in here, do some dry brushing, I think that this will look a lot more realistic and a lot more sensible. I do prefer the more realistic certain environments. It kind of helps elevate the quality of the figures a bit more, because they are very, very nice pieces, so you want to kind of display them a bit more pride. Okay. Go ahead and move on to the walls now. And then we'll do a brown on top of it all, or next. Just kind of fill in the gaps that I miss. And that'll probably be it for the bricks, at least the base colors here. This is why it's very, very important to kind of have a base coat of like something like gray, like a neutral color. Just because it kind of helps to, yeah. It allows you kind of to not do as much paint work as you think you might need, because you can also get a lot of like really cool effects from having an underside of gray or black, whatever the base coat is. You know. I think what I'll do is actually just do like a brown and black wash on the bricks. That might be what I have to do. It will be kind of difficult because we have the windows here to take care of, but I think that I'm not gonna worry about the windows too much because I can always go back over it with some more blue. So I just wanted to kind of see how it would look. You know, that's why I kind of did this like very rough paint over this morning, so I could make sure that the colors I wanted to use work. Okay. But yeah, I think a brown wash will kind of help make it look more rusted and all that. And then I think that once all that's kind of dried up and all that, we'll do kind of like that white you kind of see a lot in, because a lot of times you see a lot of like white like highlights when it comes to bricks and all that. So I'll do that on top of it all. Yeah, whatever else we need to do for it to look proper. Okay. Oh, wrong side. No, no, we're good. We're good. Yeah. So yeah. There's a little bricks there now. Come together. I think I'll use the spice orange actually for the next color. It's probably what I'll do. I'll do a brown wash on top of it. That makes sense to me. Yeah, not really worried about getting the interiors of the window here because it'll just be a pain to get to without damaging the insides there, so to speak. Not a super big deal, anyways. Okay. Brush going. Yeah, we got the orange spice out. Get all nice and spicy. And we'll kind of just go in and fill in the ones we didn't catch earlier. And start here. And this will kind of just add like a nice, like kind of pop of color in the midst of all this, you know, the reds and then the other shade of orange we had. Let's see. Nope. Okay, and there should be one down here. Yeah, should be good enough. There's our firehouse, ready to go. Police station. And the police station. We'll grab the last of the base layer bricks, and then we'll be done with this part at least. Then maybe we can move on to something else. Let's see. Oh, think about it. Yeah, because I have to wait for it to dry. So I think once that dries, I think we'll. Do you know what? We'll do the base coats for the buildings and the back walls. That's what I'll be doing next. Let's get that started right now while we can. And you're in. A lot of shifting going on here. Okay, and those are my bricks. So kind of leave them off to the side now. Let that all dry, and we'll get started on the buildings here. I'll get a brand new plate for those, and you get my bun sticks out, so to speak. I think we'll go for like grays and like browns for the buildings, and maybe some tan. I think that's gonna be the way we roll here. We'll kind of switch it up, change it up, and you know, add some variations. So I'll need 3 sticks. Now with some dry brushing and all that extra details, it should all come together nicely. So first, let's do new plate. And I think that this will be the last thing we do tonight. So that's a way for some other stuff to dry, and before I can actually do any more work on the rest of the thing here. I don't know, maybe do some extra. We'll wait. I'll do my wash over with the browns, and then I'll go back and do some dry brushing of it all. It's gonna be the best way to kind of do that. All right, let's grab some. Do a dark gray. Do milk chocolate, brown. Use some khaki. I'll use taupe. Golden brown. So we'll grab a 4th brush. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Got a few smaller ones too. Just do some base coats for the buildings, and then that might be it for now. Might take a little break. So I don't really decide what kind of buildings we're going to be having here, what they'll kind of contain. I think we'll do like a bookstore maybe on one of them. Maybe a bank, maybe. Kind of just do whatever we want, honestly. My problem will be here is identifying where the shadow starts because the shadow is going to be on the left side and the right on this side and the right side on that one. So just gotta keep that in mind as we go. But luckily, the points will kind of direct us to where we need to go for when that does happen. Okay. Do the gray one on this side. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if the bricks dry pretty soon, I think maybe I could go ahead and do like a wash. Then that might be it for the day. Or for now. I might do a little bit more work tonight, but yeah, we'll see. See what we're up for. Moving the back wall there. And I'll grab my side walls. I think I'll do one gray for each building here. Just kind of have some variety. Gray. I'm not showing. There we go. So maybe this is something I should have done off air as well. I could have done some more detail work on these guys, but whatever. Oh, I should do actually the clouds, actually. Yeah, I should do that first. All right, we'll do that after we put in our next gray building here. We'll get the clouds in first before we over there. And the gray one right there. Ooh, shit. Okay. Before we continue with the buildings, I just want to do a quick run of the clouds real quick, and then we can kind of move on, go back to what we're doing, hopefully. All right, let's get a new plate. And let's put some white. Just the right side, so. There we go. One side done. Two more to go. There's another one. And look at the back wall done. And that should be it for clouds. And then maybe I can do some more buildings if want to interfere with the grays because they're still drying. So Okay, this will be enough for my clouds. Now let that dry. And see if we can do a little bit more work on the buildings and the sides at least. Might be able to do some work. I'll just do the ones that are further away from the gray one. Do chocolate brown. Nope, chocolate brown. And I'll do it on the big one here. Peak. Yeah, I think the next thing I need to do for these ones is do shadows, and then we can do details and dry brushing and all that jazz. So I'll probably do like a wash because washes are really good for like getting just like really quick textures going on the diorama here. Okay, and there's one. And let's see. Let me do the same on the other side. Okay. There's another building down. And let's see what we're going to do with the back wall here. That's fine. Let me get there. Check. Should be okay. I'm not hearing you very well. There we go. Okay, I'll do one smaller building. And I'll do this one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do this one really small one over here. Yeah, I think I'll only detail like the buildings that are like bigger, like the ones in the background. I'm just gonna kind of do little squiggles, probably, kind of like how I did the Tokyo shop, where I didn't really do a whole lot of extra finesse with the buildings. Just kind of, just did very simple line work, and it was effective the way it was. So that doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, building my buildings. So I think that's it for the back and side walls for now, anyways. Okay, that's looking a little ugly there. Okay, just leave that as it were. Got our base colors in, so let all those dry. Let's see. Looks like our police station is dried up, so we might actually be able to do the wash. Yeah, it's all drying, so let's be right back, guys. I got a. I'll just use this guy. Need that. Need a brown. Hmm. A little bit of black. And I think I'll just do like a thin brush just for the ones on this one. That way they don't seep into the ground here too much. But then when we get to the When we get to the back and side wall, use the sponge stick. Even if it does seep into the gray, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yeah, once this brickwork is all done, we can do the tiles. And then after that, we're probably going to be doing the. Actually, not. I think I'm going to wait until I have this evened out before I do like the street lights or the street lines, like the crosswalk and then the yellow line in the middle. It'd be easier for me. All right, I'll move the camera up so you can see me do the other side. And not really, I haven't really decided on like what city this actually is supposed to be. I didn't really think about that, but when I did this, it's kind of meant to be a general sort of town or whatever. Not nothing too specific. Okay, leave that alone for now. And move on to the. You know what? We use a brush again for this stuff. A bit more black. This will be the last thing we do tonight, or today. It's oh shit, 3 o'clock. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's just go over all of it. Aside from maybe the blues. A little bit on the window. It's okay. Fix that later. Oh, shit. Hey. Someone's having a mess in their house. It exploded on the toilet. It's Taco Tuesday night. It's all good though. There's one building done, at least for a wash. And we'll end it off with the police station. Just muddy that shit up. This will kind of help add some extra little texture to it. Make my job a lot easier. All right, I think it's gonna be up to me right now before I mess everything else up too much. Should leave it off the side, but yeah, there's our two building fronts. Oop. Right there. Just did a quick wash on them all with some blackish brown mix, and gonna let it dry, and then I think I'll come back later tonight to kind of clean things up a bit, and then yeah, and then tomorrow we'll just be kind of picking up where we left off. We'll probably be doing a lot more work on the buildings. Maybe do some tile work. Maybe do some there's gonna be a lot of dry brushing tomorrow. It's gonna be one thing I definitely need to do. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with the way it's turning out. It's turning out pretty well. A bit closer. Yeah, I think that having this wash will kind of help really quickly get some, much needed like kind of like little textures onto the building, and then the buildings, and then we can kind of go from there. Figure out what's best for, yeah. But yeah, on that note, I think I'll see you guys around.